early morning exercise for some ladies. This green foliage that you see all along the river and out in the river when you're there, I think probably is just stuff that floats down from the jungles to the north on the Mekong River and on this Cheong Pha River. This little dog is apparently a local fixture. Looks well cared for. He looks very, very healthy and well cared for with a little blue sarong that he wears, and he greets the people that he knows, both passengers as well as employees here. These tugboats and their barges are just constant, it seems like, on the flow. And notice here that the product is a wood, finished wood. This, I think, it's got yellow flags on, but it may also be the tourist ferry, which is a special ferry, I think, that you get special prices on, stops at special places. But that's not, that's the Yellow Express, as you can see from the flags. And interestingly, that last raft followed by this next raft of barges with just raw timber. Wonder what's on the next raft. It's Saturday morning, overcast, with a little bit of sun poking through. Relatively cool, particularly as you ride in the ferry, but relatively cool nevertheless. Probably cooler than a summer morning. This man has a little yellow whistle which he blows that tells the pilot of the boat when to do certain things, and you'll notice that there are different whistles, a couple of whistles at a time, long whistle once in a while. And he also will jump off the boat here and secure the boat at least to one pylon. Lady in blue, she will collect the money and keep track of who's got tickets and who doesn't. I'm working my way towards the Talat Market. I think I am anyway. I think I'm at the right intersection. I know that is Than Ratchaswang that's coming towards me, and right down there to the there's where the ferry was, and then right here is the other cross street that I want to go to, so I'll turn left right here. So you can see where I'm at right here, right at that, right where my thumb is. Now I'll go down here and then work my way up this road to that orange dot. So we're in Chinatown, which is no surprise, but exactly where I want to go is another side street market that I'll probably come back to, where I can get some fruit and veggies to take back to the room. Okay, this is apparently how they roast chestnut, or those little nuts there, which I think are chestnuts. They look kind of small, but this is something that stays very, very hot, and that's how they roast them, and then they pull them out of there, I guess. So if I bothered to look at the sign, I would have seen just a few minutes ago, so I'm not that far off, that this is where I want to be, the name that starts with an I. So if you look at the map, right above the upper part of my thumbnail there, where the orange goes to the northeast, that's where I am right now. And I'll proceed up through here and wander here and beyond this street here, north of it, or northeast of Choen Krung, and also a little bit to the left. So all up through here. I'll just start showing here, just here, unique foods, whatever that is. I don't know. It might be a fig. These look like little shrimp. Ah, cashew raw. Come back and get some of those, maybe. And these, I don't know what this is. Fried something or other. Maybe these are intestines here, see? Don't know. All kinds of candy, I think. and all kinds of just junk food stuff. There's M&Ms up there. Know what these are, but if I were a Thai cook, I would know what they are and what to do with them. That looks like onions, and it's probably been marinated and spiced. And here that look like little cabbages. But all of these look like they're marinated and spiced somehow. Here's something steaming as we speak. Interesting designs. I have no idea what I'm looking at. This looks like some kind of a bread. How clever these are packaged, whatever they are. And you can see there's almost anything and everything here. I'm actually looking for some super glue. Here's some mushrooms, but I'm thinking some of the ones we've seen. I could get a quick bite to eat right now if I knew how to eat it while I'm thinning here. And eat it out of that. Kinds of sausages maybe? I don't know. That looks like some kind of shelled animal, but I don't know. This is an organ from some animal. And I always ask permission before I video people here. They're just sharpening up their craftsman's knives for the fish market here. You know, it's all on ice. Keep it nice and fresh. A large array of different kinds of mushrooms. I don't know what these are, but it looks like something like a shrimp or one of those kind that's been cut up, probably marinated. Here's organs. Looks like maybe a stomach. Various kinds of beans and so forth. Peas, probably. And asparagus. The first time I've seen some asparagus. That looks good, too. Well, here's a lady preparing the bean sprouts in a very precise way. I've never seen this done accurately. I mean, it's just throw them into whatever you use it for. Again, you have to wonder with a phenomenal amount of food and spices and stuff that's here, how they manage to make a profit. My guess is that just like restaurants, they over time fine-tune their selection of products based on what they're able to get access to at a good price and what they find their customers have gotten used to buying from. Here are various kinds of herbs, it looks like. This little fruit, I don't know. At first I thought it was a kiwi, but it's not. You would have to think that this redundancy, this overwhelming redundancy, certainly is the epitome of the dry force of competition. Ah, my tomatoes. Look all for the life like mints. See, I will come back here and buy some of these and some of those too in a little while. Put them in a solution of bleach, and then I'll just munch on them. And here you see it in operation. Got a little bit of a conflict here, not in personality, just in motorcycle versus mobile pile of stuff. And now I'm just across this street, which is Sarong Prung, which I showed you on the map. Now north of this, I think, is where I find most of the food stalls, like little restaurant things. So anyway, we'll keep exploring. And then I'm going to hang a left and see if there's another street to go down parallel to this behind me. Since these are confectionaries, I can only assume these are something sweet to eat. This wrapped in a kind of a fried pastry. So anyway, I will eat this instead since it's what I wanted with a little bit more. I don't know if they purposely put the little red dot on there. It's all pre-packaged, like in basket gifts, things you would give as presents or use at parties or celebrations, that sort of thing, or give as gifts, or maybe sell in other stores. And here is just a fancy jewelry store, but there's a mix of everything, of course. Some of the side restaurants. I want some apples. Haven't seen those. More kupeks from where? It may be you have to pay more to get in the area I was in earlier, like down on the other side of Shung Krung Road. Although this is a very pretty display here. Another quick dinner. a very doughy pastry, so it's not light and crispy like it looks like it might be, but I bet it sticks to your stomach pretty well. I'm sitting on a stool here that the lady let me use to eat my lunch. Thought I would just lazily pan about with the camera so you can see what I'm seeing as I have lunch. Keep this incessant fly away from me. Oh, there was what looked like Wrangler jeans. Okay, the plan for negotiating this trip is, you know where I am, over here on this market, right where that dot is. Well, actually, I'm up here. Actually, I think I'm probably quite a ways up here, like up to here. And so I'm going to kind of cruise back down the street, get to this big intersection, I assume it's big, hang a right, then do a kitty corner across down to here, and pick up these two sites here, which are on the walking tour. And then I can resume the walking tour's normal pattern, and then I'll bring myself back this way, and then I intend to pop back in here and hope that somebody still got some of those tomatoes and so forth for me to buy. Just to pan and look at a little bit of the lifestyle here. It's interesting how people take their little chunk and make it into something to them is beautiful, and with all those cactus and so forth, it has its beauty. Then you get a building like this. Couldn't be uglier, couldn't be more dilapidated, but I bet you on the inside it's much, much nicer than what it appears for us. A little bit more subdued out here on the perimeter of this area, which might be expected. And something that's interesting, when you roam around here and you see all the trash during the day, you wonder what happens to it. This is what happens to it. People just set it out in little bags or big bags. There are sometimes sweepers that sweep up the debris, and then by the early morning, it's all. It's one of the innumerable local shrines and temples. Even on the ferry boat coming down the river, there will be people who are turning towards a temple and giving their prayer, a form of it. Looking at my map, I would have sworn that I was up here somewhere, but I'm not. I'm apparently somewhere right on here, on Shon Krong, according to that sign over there. Don't know what this is. Probably a dried flower or something. These look like dried orange slices. Though I don't interpret the signs, I'm pretty sure this is a coffin being prepared here. Apparently this little girl's job is probably to go around and clean all these ATMs. One of the things you can be sure about the colossal redundancy here is that it provides jobs for lots and lots of people behind the scenes. This is probably an elaborate apothecary shop with bins filled with all kinds of rarities. That is that this goes straight through perpendicular to the first market that I walked up, Market Street. Actually it doesn't. I've just come full circle, because I was exactly here, if you go back and look at the video, when I started up through this side. So to show you how easy it is to get lost, I came up there, went to the left, went up there, turned right, and I'm right back where I was supposed to be. That kind of makes sense. So now I'll go right back where I was and continue on until I get down to here somewhere. Across busy streets is to get on the windward side, not on the leeward side, in other words the down traffic side, and wait for the locals to go and then stay with them, particularly a pregnant woman or an old woman. Stay right with her. So I'm now at this street here in front of my thumb, Pleng Nam, it looks like. And if I pan up here, you'll see that that is where I'm at. So that's my check for making sure I'm going the right direction. This is the Kong Shu Association of Thailand, whatever it looks like, but it has a lot of the look of a temple, so it kind of stopped me and got my attention. But look at the different kind of decoration on the front. I wonder if this has any religious traditional basis. Two historical oddities, and I don't just mean these two pagoda top phone booths, but this in the background, I suspect, is where I am going.
China Gate.
China Gate.
Our Chinese people make to our king birthday. 72 years.
This is Wat Trai, where we will see the Golden Buddha and many, many tourists. That's what those tour buses were that I scooted through as I crossed the street behind the Wat. And here they have a good idea. You can take off your shoes and put them in a plastic bag and then carry the bag with you so you don't have your shoes stolen. I always take my shoes up to my room for that very reason. The money I've got hidden in my shoes is worth more than the shoes. Now I'm purposely trying to get a very oblique angle so you can get a sense of the depth of this. Remember, the doors on the baptistry Ghiberti did are probably less than, I think, 3/4 of an inch in depth, and yet are profound. At least the later ones were with Brunelleschi's rediscovery of perspective, single point. And here are three very pretty water florals, if you will, including a turtle and a fish. More fish and turtles. A large, impressive bell. With some interesting detail at top. Let's go look at it. And a little closer. I find this Wat particularly beautiful because of the the interplay of the simple, clean, smooth marble and the ornate, somewhat reliefed gold, and then topped by an over-the-top gold. And here the Golden Buddha. Very pretty scene with the flowers and the Buddha. Let's take a look at some of the detail here in those archways. And here the entryway arch looking straight up for you. Look at the use of the gold and the mirrors and what almost looks like wallpaper. I'm going to take a closer look at that. I think it's all painted. One of the things you look for in anything that's painted or carved that purports to be original as opposed to manufactured is variance in what should be an exact same design. For example, let's take this little flower, if you will, on the top here. Notice that if you look closely, the top green bud slightly leans to the right, whereas if we move over here and look at this one, you'll see that it slightly moves to the left. And if you look at the one here, It's pretty much centered, although it's off balance so far as its symmetrical sides. Also look at the distance between the orange flower, the top of it, and the blue line above it. There, and this one. Certainly the one on the right a little bit larger, a little bit wider I mean. Now we'll go over and look at this one. This appears to be the same in that the left is closer than the right. The right seems to be, as I look at them, and you can't see this, but the right seems to be greater distance than the right one that we just saw. So my layman's guess is this is all painted by hand, which is amazing. Look at the subtlety of the colors. Look how the purple morphs into that cream colored on the top of this little diamond shape, if you will. And look at the subtlety of colors here, the dark blue, the light blue, the mauve, then a light tan, or dark tan, if you will, then the dark brown, the blue and the cream. I want to look closely at this edge to make sure I hadn't been deceived that there was a edge of wallpaper. Just to sweep down to be impressed by the architecture. I'm trying to get into a position where I can see the demeanor of the face of the Buddha, but it's kind of hard with all of the reflection in here. I'll leave it up to you to see if I've somehow succeeded. And this pretty throne, if you will, that he's sitting on, a chair. Here are the faithful seeking blessings on the package that they have with them. And I noticed there's a similar package there on that little flower display. I'm just going to pan slowly down through this door so you can get a sense of its design.
That's why she want to cover, but this is a dressing. Yeah, her dress. She the sarong or everything made of cotton and it's handmade. This is handmade. So normally ladies she have like a necklace with many color, yellow, red, white and blue. Yeah. And some of ladies she have like a cotton, the big cotton and roll protection her hair. Because sometimes when she work in the farm, it's too hot. Covered by cotton. Yes.